Hello, my name is April and welcome to the Yoga Ranger Studio and welcome to your practice today. Today we're going to be focusing a Yin Yoga Snack on your glutes. So really working with the back side and outside edges sort of into the hips a little bit to get a nice deep stretch in all the tissue in this space. This is a great practice to include before or after any working out or use as a warm-up or a cool down if you've been working really hard in this space like a lower body or a leg day. Also great for just adding on whenever you need to unwind a little bit of tension. Knowing that our glutes are attached to our lower back and our legs, so ultimately some of our lower back discomfort may have come from your glutes being really super tense. It's a very big muscle group area, so working with that today. Optional, a blanket for this practice. I like to use a blanket for some of my poses, but if you don't and you don't want to and you don't have to, you can use a block or nothing at all for our two poses that we're going to be focusing on today. So we're going to start in shoelace pose. I'm going to offer you a couple of options here today. You can take a shoelace pose that is a half. So taking your left leg out, bringing your right knee and crossing over and folding over. Or you can start to take that left leg back behind, the right leg across, and coming into whatever your shoelace looks like. Everybody is different because our hips are different, our legs are different. I like to sit on a blanket or a block to give me a little bit of support. If your feet go wider, go ahead and let those feet go a little bit wider. If they're tucked in further behind you, that's okay too. Find whatever works for you. So starting upright and then going ahead and starting to fold forward. Now finding this place of 2/3 of your maximum in yin. Finding a place where you find sensation, but not too much. No pain here. Maybe you find you can start to stack that leg a little bit more. Settling into your practice or your pose. If you're all the way to the floor, then go ahead and come all the way to the floor. Support yourself however you want. Bolsters, blocks, or your hands. And really let your hips get super heavy in this pose. And like a nice weight on the floor. Maybe you start to feel this in the back side a little bit, on the outside of the hip as well. Maybe even into the lower back. Notice whatever sensations come up and your breath, and just letting your exhale maybe be a little bit longer than your inhale. This will help you unwind tension, release some of the tension in the muscles and the tissues around this space. Just a couple more breaths here in this pose. Notice wherever you're feeling this. Some people feel it in different places, and that's okay too. We're just moving into some spaces, and it's okay if you don't feel a lot of sensation either. starting to gently lift back up, whatever position you're in, whether it be a half or a full. Go ahead and unwind yourself from this pretzel shape. Maybe take your legs out, bounce them around a little bit. Maybe windshield wiper your knees side to side for a few breaths. Choose a movement or non-movement that fits you today. And knowing that both sides are completely different, unlike butterflies, right? This side, you may need to take a half. It may feel more comfortable for you to take a half, or you may want to cross that right leg underneath, left leg on top, using your props in different ways to support you in this practice. Remember that our legs grow differently on either side and are positioned differently, so it might feel better to have a different positioning of the body. Taking whatever forward fold feels appropriate for you in your practice. Maybe this side it's deeper, maybe this side it's not quite as deep. That's okay. We're working with where we're at, right? Letting your hips get super heavy. Here again, checking in with your breath. Extending your exhale a little bit longer than your inhale. One more deep inhale and exhale. And just starting to unwind a little bit from wherever you were at. Here again, taking your legs straight or taking them into windshield wipers. Whatever feels intuitive for you. Sometimes stillness, sometimes movement. You never know. And then making your way into a seat, a butterfly, where you have the bottoms of your feet together. If you're using a blanket or a block, go ahead and sitting on the very edge of that blanket. We're going to lean a little bit over to our right to take that left leg back behind us in a deer pose. We're going to do a little modification here. So maybe not taking back as far as you normally would. We're going to lean over far to our right, come down on the right forearms or elbows. You can bring that back knee in a little bit closer if you want. Making a very loose kind of pinwheel shape here. Maybe you find yourself a little bit further out. Kind of work your way around to see where you find the most sensation for your own body. Just a few more breaths here. And slowly starting to lift your way back up to center, bringing the bottoms of the feet together, waving your butterfly wings a little bit here. Nice deep inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth. I always find that when I work with the glutes and the back side of the body, especially big muscle groups, there's a certain amount of relief to my entire body and a lot of mobility that comes from this. So this time we're going to lean over to the other side, taking that right leg back behind us. Here again, it doesn't have to go super far back. It can be more of a pinwheel shape if you want. Starting to lean over to the left and walking your hands, starting maybe out toward the front and moving them back a little bit further, where you feel a little bit more stretch in the outer hip. I find there's sort of a sweet spot somewhere in between, maybe bringing that knee in if it feels better for you, or not. Feel free to experiment as to where your hands go and how close your knee is to your other foot. Just a few more breaths here. Gently starting to make your way back up as slowly as you can, waving your butterfly wings a little bit. I like to cross one leg in front of the other and do a little fold and then kind of move a little bit side to side. And then switch that cross a little bit and once again fold. Notice the difference in mobility in your back. Lower back, outer hip, glutes. And then coming back up to center, taking a nice deep inhale through your nose and exhaling through your mouth. This might actually be a really great way to start your day. Mobility throughout your backside, right? Thank you so much for joining me and Sleeping Lucy. She woke up briefly. I hope you have a wonderful week. Enjoy this practice. Add it into your regular schedule or use it before and after a workout, or maybe at the end of the day to unwind tension in the lower back. Have a great day.